Okay, so on this event, this is a fun event.
uh,
I'd say it's probably the most challenging event of the
For who?
expansion, or one of.
NPCs?
On this event, there are a couple of things going on. There are a bunch of Mephit miners that are going to spawn. Group 8, and that's excluding Anarine, is going to be responsible for that. So that's Colt's group with Kiyoshi, Jinwheel, Katria, and Akiosium. You see this big blue rock, Group 8? There's going to be Mephit miners that spawn there throughout the event. If you do not kill them in time, we will fail the event. No, it's not that bad. You
Ads
can't.
incoming.
Yep, that's fine. You can't kill, or you can't cast on those miners. So
Does that include weapon procs?
weapon procs are fine, just you can't cast. It has a spell reflect, is why. So otherwise, we have the Mephit minions. There's Mephit minions that spawn every 60 seconds. If you do not kill them within 25 seconds, they power up. That was a challenge earlier in the expansion. It will not be now because we have way better gear and weapons. The Mephit miner, or the minions. The minions hit for 17k, so they do hit hard, and they do spawn every 60 seconds. So those two things are static throughout the entire fight. Of everything else that's going on, those two things will continue to happen. So the first phase of the event is 10 minutes long. There's two platforms. There's the one that we're at right here, that's the southeast, and then there's another one over here where Yukin's at right now. I need a knight that'll be able to pull this. Who is going to be in charge of that?
be our puller here. There's going to be a minion that spawns basically east of here, and it's going to happen every 60 seconds.
So yeah, they're going to spawn about every 25 seconds or so. So the Mephit minion, and the two keymasters are going to spawn in different intervals. Sometimes they're going to spawn together if they cycle through. So Glower, your role isn't really to tank as much. It's more to pull it into the raid. You may have to tank it until a warrior peels off. For the first 10 minutes of the event, we're going to use a defensive tank rotation. So we're going to have a warrior whose sole job is to peel it off of the knights every time. So that way, what we were experiencing in the first few tries is these things hit hard. Even now, it's going to be a lot. But we limit tank deaths when we have a defensive tank rotation peeling it off the knights, and that lets you focus on pulling them in. They do zero summon, so you have to pull them in promptly. The key masters are going to drop the monarch and the Nene keys. So if you're in group 3 and 9, you're looting the architect key. If you're in group 2 or 7, you're looting the monarch. So as far as group 2 and 7 is concerned, that's Johanna, Medic, Cornbread, Churl, and Steiner. I think most of us, except for Medic, has done this phase. Medic, you're just going to be healing. It'll be simple. And then the group 7 is, I've got all rangers in there. I felt like that would be best. So on group, or for that phase, what's going to happen is Nene has either a damage shield or a spell reflect. So it starts out where you can melee it, and then I don't know, 30 seconds in or so, it'll switch to a heavy damage shield, and it's not super easy to see when it pans through. Usually, if we had melee DPS, they'd die. So group 7 is going to be, you could probably melee it for 30 seconds. It's better DPS, but then you're going to want to switch to bowing. The reason we have rangers in there is you're able to bow through both phases and probably have better DPS. But otherwise, I think the tanks all know what to do on that side. The other side is the one I'm not going to say concerned, but we'll have some different people, and there is a learning curve on that. It's going to be Tick and Obs. Can anybody that's done that explain exactly how the movement works? Because I think that was pretty important information.
Basically, Mootsie either has a wall emote or an emote near it, and you either got to get away from it or be near it. So if it calls the wall emote, then you get near it. If it says be near it, then you get to the wall and wait for it to switch back. It does not summon the tank, so even the tank can get away from it.
Yeah, it's rooted. But it hits like a truck, so we need to be ready before it spawns.
Yeah, the groups 3 and especially group 9, we have a lot of our big melee DPS in there. This is a burn for you guys. It is very important that you burn your discs. You don't want to burn the second it spawns and die, because that can happen too. But the quicker that dies, the less problems there are.
So once we go up there, it's either going to do one of two things. It's either going to say the air near the architect heats up. That means that you got to back away. Or the edges of the room heat up. That means that we can DPS.
It always starts out in DPS phase and then switches. Last time we almost killed it. We got it down to like 10-12% before we had to back off. And then Dots kind of finished it. So it is possible to burn it, I think.
Endorphus, I'm going to have you use your gift of life as you see fit, but AE heals are important.
What'd you say? Sorry.
I'm going to have you use your gift of life as you see fit, because AE heals and that part's really important. So once that phase is down, the third and final phase begins. The final boss spawns 17 minutes and 20 seconds into the event. By the way, anybody that's not in one of the groups I've called, when the other two groups go up, those Mephit minions still spawn. So you're only going to have about 4 groups, but they're going to spawn about every minute or so. So you're still going to need to kill them. For the final phase, this is where the event really gets tricky. The final boss is a ranged DPS fight. It is the event 3 in Convorteum. It is very similar. We're going to tank it over here to the southwest where Lichen is right now. And we're going to range DPS it. We have to have a tank glyph line running. We need knights to peel those adds in as they come. We are still going to have the Mephit minions to deal with. Melee DPS will kill the Mephit minions. Knights will peel the adds off. And range DPS will kill the big boss. Knights peeling the adds off is super important. They're light blue, they don't seem like they're much, but they hit for 5k at a time. And the tank tanking the boss and those adds all at the same time is a big problem. The other part that's really important, once the third wave begins with the final boss, there's going to be an AE that goes out. That AE is going to be one of two things. It is going to be either a caster dot, or not a dot, but a damage prevention, or a melee damage prevention. Which is which? Does anybody remember?
I'm pretty sure pain is the one mages want.
Pain inhibits melee. Suffering inhibits nukes.
Okay.
If you are a caster, you want to get a cure for suffering.
So with the cures, if you have the suffering, you do not want to just say in your group, cure please, because it's not going to cure the dot. It's going to give you the other one. That's all that it's doing. So guess what's going to happen if 2 people cure you? You're going to be back to square one and have the wrong dot. Guess what happens if a paladin splash heals and that cures it? It's going to cause us to wipe. So paladins, please no cures during the final phase. You need to send tells to people if you need a cure. This is super important. In case you get inside of the range of the boss, he does have a bullwhip where he pulls you in and causes massive AE damage. You're going to want to run away from that, which is why we do this as a range fight. But otherwise, that's about it. I know it's a lot to go on. The first 2 phases are going to be simple enough. It's the third phase that makes or breaks it.
Go Tom. 45 minutes of explaining.
Alright, so the minion will probably pop soon, and then shortly after the crewmasters will spawn, or vice versa. There's a miner. It's coming down, so group. Nene pop.
Obs is on Mootsie first.
Okay, then Ops.
Rangers go ahead. Tari should be melee in too. And then just watch for that damage shield. It gets a yellow.
I'll get it off
dying
as soon as it
left and
pops,
right.
guys.
Right. Medic and
Up.
Johanna heal.
Wootsy's up.
Gladden, are you able to divine fit?
Yeah, get him divine for sure.
Need to keep him in the middle, away from the wall, Ops.
It's okay. Fuck.
Burn.
I don't know, that stuff's dying
Yeah,
up there a lot
something,
quicker though.
Mitsu, not so much.
Well, it spawned a lot later.
We have the back not against the portal, so I keep.
Yeah, I keep popping out.
It's like we just lose a night every time.
Back out.
Walls
Get
on
away.
Moodsy.
Get away from Moodsy.
Get to the walls.
Oopsie, don't wipe, guys.
Can we go? I didn't see
No. Do not go until it shows yellow text on your screen.
Range attack.
Can y'all kill that, please?
Who's the first time pumping? Thing.
Give it 1 second. Let's let the Moosey group finish.
Are you sure we can't go? This is way longer than usual.
Now
There
we
we
go.
go.
Get in the middle on him.
Tick has everything I can start. We need to get a shaman totem planted near where I'm gonna be tanking.
It's on Tick. Tick's
Never mind,
dead.
I died.
Jack's dead.
Get ticket of guys.
God.
Cornbread will be up to start.
Close one.
Glyph?
Yeah, definitely Glyph. Kyoshi needs to move back. You guys starting by the miners. Minion pop. Does anybody have a time? Okay, 3 minutes.
So there is going to be a crap ton of ads that are going to be spawning. The point of putting the shaman totem there is kind of like event 3 that we just did. Hopefully they run to where the main raid is at. That's what the melee are going to be killing, is the ads that are going to come to the raid.
Like, I wish I had a heartbeat like monitor.
Yo,
Please.
Get him.
Is that bullwhip?
Man,
That's not good.
no.
Get away from bullwhip.
Fade on y'all. You're getting pulled in, move back.
I got pain.
Okay, I got pain now. Okay.
He's down. Kept getting sucked in.
I think I stay on like way back
Big
here.
heals to corn. Corn is down. Tick is up.
Oh,
Resin corn.
Everybody kill the ads.
this is where the fun comes in.
AE them if you have to, but they're gonna die quick.
Yeah, they not super fast.
Trying to pull this dude back.
Last is on deck. Remember, we need a glyph. Take your glyph isn't running.
No, I had
Glyph is
fort
still
going.
if I can get buffs.
I didn't
Can't.
glyph because I still had fort.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Big heals to tick. Range DPS go ahead. Somebody auspice. All right. Ads. Knights pull them in. Everybody kill the ads.
Shouldn't
The
it be
ads are
just
what will
Malay
break
kill
this
ads?
Memphis.
Miko's down.
That's a problem.
We're gonna need another shaman totem near York.
Incoming.
We're doing good. The ads are getting killed quicker, and that's Tick's not taking near as much damage.
But the shaman totem's the key. That's why I was calling
Let's
that.
back up.
Shaman totems down.
Back away.
This thing's not fast as fuck. I just realized
Next
that.
ad should be soon. Melee DPS.
I didn't even spire or nothing.
Oh, I guess it's just too easy now.
That went a little quicker.
Yeah.